Hey guys, it's Carly here with your Tuesday review. This is week 229 of Body Bags, and for today's review I decided to do Phantasm. Got the Phantasm 5 movie DVD collection for Christmas, so decided to go through and rewatch these movies. So yeah, I watched part 1 last night, and yeah, Phantasm, the basic plot is basically a 13-year-old boy and his brother and then their friend discover that there is some weird stuff going on at their mortuary. This guy known as the Tall Man is basically robbing graves, and they're not sure what the reason is or where this man came from or what his deal is, but they discover this and they're trying to get to the bottom of it and, kind of save their own butts in the process. And it's hard to really describe the plot to this movie because this is a confusing film. I've always found it to be pretty confusing, and for once that is okay with me. It gets a pass. This is actually one of my favorite horror movies, which is weird because I usually like movies that make sense and things like that. And I mean, there definitely is a story behind this movie, and it's got like a plausible plot. There's just some things like towards the end and whatnot that get kind of confusing. You don't know what's real and what's not, and that is kind of the point of Phantasm. So first off, I gotta say, like, one of the main things that I've always really enjoyed about this movie is just the characters in it, because you can tell that they are all actually friends in real life, and it just really shows on the screen. Like, it just seems like a bunch of friends hanging out in some parts. Like, there's a scene that I always enjoyed where the one character, Reggie, just randomly kind of pulls up in his ice cream truck to Mike and Jody's house, and Jody is just sitting on his porch playing guitar, and then Reggie comes up and plays guitar and like sings with him. And I just always thought that scene was like really like genuine and cool, and it's kind of random. Like, scenes in this movie I find are kind of like random. Like, this movie I know was filmed on weekends, I believe, over the course of like 2 years or something crazy like that, and you could definitely kind of tell, like, just the way like scenes are put together. It's just very like random at times, but I don't mind it. I think it has some really solid scenes. There's like the classic part where Mikey is having a dream of the Tall Man, and he looks up and the Tall Man's like standing over his bed, and that scene kind of comes out of nowhere and then leaves, and it's probably one of the creepiest parts in this movie. And then there's other parts that like I have to laugh at where like there's a part where Mikey and Jody are kind of just in their house, and then Reggie kind of just comes in the door and he's like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And I just always kind of thought it was kind of funny because you could just tell that he's just standing outside waiting for his cue, and it just seems really like unnatural and comical. But with a movie like this, I can definitely give like things like that a pass, because this is definitely a do-it-yourself type of film, and this is how it should be done, with a bunch of like friends who just come together, and it doesn't matter how long it takes them to make the movie, they make the movie, and I gotta say, this one used to creep me out quite a bit. Like, I honestly think the Tall Man is a very scary and sorry, I thought I heard a noise. Scary and underrated character, villain, if you will. And, it doesn't scare me as much now, but back in the day, I used to find this really, really creepy. And, I also love the, like, blood effects and stuff in it. They're those, like, classic, like, 70s blood that's, like, just this orangish, reddish, like, unnatural color, really. If we're being honest, it's not realistic looking at all, but it's just very beautiful, like something out of like Suspiria and things like that. I really enjoy that about it. But yeah, Phantasm, great film. If you have not seen it yet, shame on you. You should definitely check this one out. And the sequels are great as well. I'm going to definitely be rewatching those soon. But yeah, overall, pretty decent acting for these people who they just seem like real people, like characters off the street, and I really appreciate that about it. And they give solid performances. The cinematography is pretty decent in it, especially on this remastered version. It's just very vibrant and just looks great. So yeah, overall, love Phantasm, one of my favorite movies. I give it an 8.5 out of 10, and yeah, thank you guys once again for joining me for this Tuesday review, and I will see you for week number 230.